So, imagine this for a second. It's a perfect Saturday afternoon. The sun is bright. The sky is completely clear and my garage door is wide open. We're hosting our yearly garage hangout. It's nothing wild or out of control, just a relaxed gathering. A handful of friends, some good music playing softly in the background, a barbecue grill sizzling away in the driveway, and a cooler packed with ice-cold drinks. Lawn chairs are scattered around. People are laughing, tossing bean bags and a game of cornhole. It's the kind of simple, wholesome neighborhood get-together we've done every single year. It's basically a tradition at this point. Now, when you live in a neighborhood with a homeowners association, you eventually learn the different personalities that come with it. And in our neighborhood, there's one personality that stands above the rest. Karen, you know exactly the type I'm talking about. She walks around with a clipboard that might as well be permanently glued to her hand. Her favorite pastime seems to be measuring the height of everyone's grass with a ruler. I'm not even exaggerating. One time she actually tried to find me because my garden gnome was, and I quote, inappropriately cheerful. So when I noticed her peeking through the blinds of her living room window, I had a feeling it was only a matter of time before she showed up. Sure enough, about an hour into the party, right as I'm pulling a perfect rack of ribs off the grill, Karen decides it's time to make her entrance. She marches across the street like she's heading into battle, her face twisted into that familiar scowl that looks like it could sour milk instantly. She stops right at the edge of my driveway, crosses her arms, and starts tapping her foot impatiently. "Excuse me," she announces loudly, her voice cutting right through the music and conversation. This is a direct violation of HOA bylaws. Section C, Paragraph 4, Unauthorized Social Gatherings. I walk over to her, try my best to keep a friendly smile on my face. "Hey, Karen," I say calmly. "It's just a few friends over for a barbecue. We're not being too loud, are we?" She lets out a dramatic scoff. "Loud is subjective," she replies sharply. "The smell of your smoked meats is drifting directly into my house, and the number of vehicles parked on this street is completely unacceptable." My friend Dave, who never misses a chance to crack a joke, chimes in from behind me. "Hey, we can move the cars down a bit if that helps." Karen shoots him a glare sharp enough to cut glass. "This is not a negotiation," she snaps. "This is a residential neighborhood, not a festival ground. You have 10 minutes to disperse this gathering, or I will be forced to take further action." With that dramatic declaration, she spins around on her heel and storms back across the street toward her house like she's just issued a royal decree. The rest of us just stand there for a moment, looking at each other. A few people start laughing. I mean, we're not doing anything illegal. It's just a backyard-style barbecue with friends. Still, just to be polite, we lower the music a little bit and go back to enjoying ourselves. I honestly figured that would be the end of it, but I was very, very wrong. About 20 minutes later, right as we're slicing into a fresh watermelon, we see something flashing at the end of the street, blue and red lights reflecting off the houses. A police car slowly rolls up toward my driveway. The music immediately shuts off. Conversations stop mid-sentence. The entire party freezes. And there's Karen, standing proudly on her porch across the street with her arms crossed and a smug, triumphant smirk on her face, watching the whole scene like a director admiring her masterpiece. She looked unbelievably pleased with herself. 2 officers step out of the car. They look young, professional, but also slightly exhausted, like this might be the 10th ridiculous complaint they've had to deal with today. One of them walks up to me. "Sir, we received a complaint about excessive noise in a large gathering," he says while glancing around at the lawn chairs, the half-eaten food, and the cooler. He doesn't seem particularly concerned. "Officer, I'm really sorry if we were causing any trouble," I say respectfully. "It's just a small afternoon barbecue with some friends." We even turned the music down after our neighbor complained. From across the street, Karen suddenly shouts from her porch. They're a public menace. Just look at them. The officer briefly glances at her before turning back to me. "All right," he says calmly. "We just have to check things out. Can you tell me who the homeowner is?" "That would be me," I reply. At that moment, one of my guests stands up from his lawn chair. His name is Mike. Great guy. Very relaxed and down to earth. He's actually a friend of my wife's cousin, and we invited him because he recently moved into the neighborhood. He had been quietly enjoying a burger this whole time without saying much. Mike walks over, casually wiping his hands with a napkin. He looks at the two officers and calmly asks, "Everything all right, officers?" The moment the first officer sees him, his eyes suddenly widen. He immediately straightens up. His partner does the same. They both seem to snap to attention instantly. "Chief," the first officer blurts out nervously. No, sir. Everything's fine. We were just responding to a noise complaint." For a second, my brain completely short-circuits. "Chief?" I look over at Mike. Quiet, laid-back Mike. The same guy I just watched lose 3 straight rounds of cornhole. Mike smiles calmly at the officers. "A noise complaint?" he says while glancing around at our extremely quiet and very relaxed gathering. Doesn't look too out of control to me. Seems like a pretty normal Saturday barbecue. Then he turns toward me and gives a quick wink. "By the way, those ribs were excellent." He looks back at the officers. "And who filed the complaint?" The officer gestures toward the house across the street. "The woman over there, sir. She said it was an out-of-control party." Mike turns and looks directly at Karen. Her smug smile has completely disappeared. It's been replaced by pure, stunned disbelief. Her mouth is hanging open like she's just seen a ghost. Mike, the police chief, takes a few steps closer to the street so Karen can hear him clearly. "Well, officers," he says in a voice that carries across the yards, "I've personally been here for over 2 hours. The music has been at a perfectly respectful volume, and these people are simply law-abiding citizens enjoying their weekend." He pauses. "There's no issue here. In fact, this seems more like a misuse of police resources." Then he looks directly at Karen. "Dispatch time, fuel for patrol car, and the salaries of these 2 fine officers are all being used to respond to a perfectly legal barbecue because you didn't like the smell of smoked ribs." The color drains completely from Karen's face. She looks at the police chief, then at me, then back at the officers. She looks like she wishes the ground would open up and swallow her whole. Without saying another word, she quickly turns around, rushes back inside her house, and slams the door. We haven't seen her peeking through the blind since. The 2 officers look relieved. "Sorry to bother you, Chief, and you as well, sir." One of them says to me, "Enjoy the rest of your party." They climb back into their patrol car and drive away. The moment the car disappears down the street, the entire party explodes into laughter and applause. Everyone starts patting Mike on the back. He just laughs and grabs another bottle of water from the cooler. "Mike, you're the police chief?" I ask, still stunned. He grins. "Yeah, sorry about that. I usually don't mention it at parties. It tend to make things awkward." From across the driveway, Dave shouts, "Hey, Chief, want to be my partner for the cornhole rematch?" Mike laughs. "You're on." And just like that, the party started back up again. The music went back to a reasonable level. The grill fired up again. And we enjoyed the most satisfying, completely Karen-free barbecue for the rest of the afternoon. To this day, the story of how Karen accidentally called the police chief on our garage party has become an absolute neighborhood legend. And my garden gnome, he's never looked more cheerful. Thanks for watching. And if you've got a crazy neighbor story of your own, drop it in the comments below.